Hey everybody, my name is Kyle, or my friends call me K-Raj, and this is K-Raj Talks Puck. Pretty simple concept. I am a diehard hockey fan. I love hockey. I've grown up watching it my entire life. Huge Detroit Red Wings fan. And I'm going to talk some puck. So, we are officially 2 weeks into the NHL schedule and NHL season. Most teams have played anywhere between, I think, 7 to 10 games by now. There have been a few surprises, my Detroit Red Wings being one of them. They lost their first game to New Jersey, but then reeled off 5 in a row. And people in Facebook land were foolishly saying, this is our year. Pump the brakes a little bit. They've lost 3 in a row since then. And judging from some of the comments and commentary that I read online, the sky has fallen and we're never going to win another game again this year. So, who the fuck knows? But they have shown they have some good offense. Alex DeBrincat has been a wonderful addition. He's fit right in with Dylan Larkin and Lucas Raymond on the top line, averaging over a goal a game. I don't think that pace will continue throughout the whole year, but I did say at the start of the year that he is going to be the first Red Wing since Marian Hossa to hit the 40-goal mark. And I still think so. He's got 70-some games left to score 31 more goals. I think it can happen. Also, another good surprise. There's actually 2 good surprises from my homeland, my home country of Canada, and they're on opposite ends of our opposite coast, I guess I should say. You have Vancouver, 5-2-1, looking pretty solid, and Montreal is also 5-2-1. Who saw that coming? They were projected to be horrible this year, both teams, especially Montreal, and they have reeled off 5 wins in their first 8 games. And you could argue that they probably should be 6-2, but the one loss that they got past regulation, that's what the 1 stands for, 5-2-1, was a shootout loss to the Leafs, the Toronto Maple Leafs, in which they were leading 5-3, with about 4 minutes to go. And then Austin Matthews took over and sniped his second and third goal of the game to get himself a hat trick. Anaheim, also, you are 4-4 on the year. A lot of people were projecting you guys to struggle to win this year, but you're 500 through the first 8 games of the year. So kudos to Anaheim, who really gives a shit. Nobody I really know or care about. So there's that. The Edmonton Oilers, on the other hand, this is a bad surprise. They are 2-5-1. They've already had an injury to Connor McDavid. He came back. He played in the Heritage game last night, the outdoor game between Edmonton and Calgary at Commonwealth Stadium. Didn't look too bad from what I saw. Picked up, I believe, 1 assist. Looked like McDavid. He was fast. Brought me to the edge of my seat a couple times. Had a few ooh and ah moments, but nothing right home about there. And also 2 teams that were projected to do quite well one was projected to do well, the other nobody really knew about, but they were 2 of the top teams in the league last year, including the team that set the record for the most wins and the most points and the most devastating first-round choke job we've seen in quite some time, the Boston Bruins. Despite my mom being a huge Bruins fan and her going on a little hiatus from watching the Bruins this year, it seems to really have affected them. They are 7-0-1 on the year. Their only loss coming this past Thursday, I believe it was, to Anaheim, a game that they actually pissed away. They were up 3-1. Anaheim came back, tied it up late in the third, and then won it in overtime. Something about the Bruins being up 3-1, and then blowing it, and then losing in overtime. Sounds familiar. Brings back memories of Game 7 last year. The first round when they're up 3-1, and then they lost. Then they lost Game 7 in overtime. Memories. Precious memories. Anyway, sorry, Bruins fans. And the defending Stanley Cup champion Vegas Golden Knights are off to an 8 0-1 start. They were 7-0-0. And then the Chicago Blackhawks, led by Connor Bedard, came into Vegas one day and said, fuck your shit. And they beat them in overtime. And because the NHL likes to give out participation trophies, if you lose in overtime or a shootout, you still get a point. Because that's just how the NHL works, apparently. No other league, especially in the none of the other professional sports leagues in North America. So I'm talking the NFL, Major League Baseball, NBA. None of them give out participation trophies. You could lose a 9-inning baseball game and get the exact same thing that you got in the standings if you lose a 15-inning baseball game. Jack fucking shit, which is how it should be. You lose, you don't deserve anything. I don't care. It's like rewarding stupidity. NHL's a joke, though, in that regard. And also, there was one other team I wanted to make mention of. The mighty and powerful San Jose Sharks. They just completed their October schedule last night, losing 3-1 to Washington. Their next game won't be until the calendar flips over to November. They're winless! They are winless. The San Jose Sharks, who have put together some of the worst hockey teams you could ever imagine, especially their first 2 years. Their first year, they went, and I shit you not, 17, 58, and 5. Now, the NHL wasn't giving out participation trophies back then for losing, so those 5 games that were in the column that I mentioned are actually ties. So they lost 58 times. No special overtime points, no nothing like that. 58. 58. They finished with 39 points. But they got to win in October. They won their third game against Calgary. They started 0-2. They lost to Vancouver twice. And then they went and played Calgary in the Cow Palace, which is the actual rink that they played in San Jose for the first couple years. Sorry about that, technical difficulties. Girlfriend's dog's barking. They played in a rink called the Cow Palace, and they won a game there. They beat Calgary, and this is in the fall of 1991, so this is 2 years removed from Calgary's Stanley Cup Championship. In the summer of 89, they were the champs. They were the cream of the crop. They had the best team in hockey. They had the best regular season record that year. Dummied their way through the playoffs, basically, except, the first round against Vancouver. Nearly blew that. But then after that, they got rolling. They had the best team in hockey that year. And 2 years later, they were playing an expansion team, playing their third game with basically the same team. They fired Terry Crisp after they lost in the first round in 1990. Thanks for winning us the cup the year before, Terry. Team shit the bed in 1990, but it's your fault. But yeah, they had basically the same team. And ironically enough, the 91-92 Flames did not make the playoffs. Had a very bad year that year by their standard. Just injuries and just players playing like shit apparently. But in the fall of 91, going into that year, they were projected to be good. And they lost 4-3 to San Jose. Garbage. Fun fact about that San Jose expansion team, the very first goal that was scored by the San Jose Sharks was scored by a former member of my beloved Belleville Bulls, tough guy, Craig Cox. Probably, if you look him up on YouTube, you're not going to find footage of the goal, but you'll find footage of him, Bob Probert, beating the absolute fuck out of each other a fair amount of times. Legendary bouts. Yes, San Jose Sharks won a game in October, their first year, when they went 17, 58, and 5 for 39 points. The 92-93 Sharks, so the second year Sharks, somehow were even fucking worse. Somehow, they only won 11 games. 11! They lost 71 times. And they had 2 ties. They finished with 24 points. 24. And they got a win in October. They won their first game, actually. They beat the Winnipeg Jets. Not the Winnipeg Jets that are in the NHL now. No. These Winnipeg Jets left after 96, went to Phoenix, and have been an absolute fucking dog shit of a franchise ever since. The Arizona Coyotes. Fucking joke. They're playing in the goddamn university rink now. But they got to win in October. But these San Jose Sharks, the 2023-24 San Jose Sharks, nothing. One measly, ugly point. They got 1 point. They have been shelled. Just completely shelled in a lot of their games this year, and it's just garbage. It's garbage. Garbage. Not good at all. In fact, ironically enough, the team that they got a point against is one of the top teams in the league so far this year. Been one of the top teams in the league the last few years. They lost in a shootout. They're so close. They lost in a shootout to the Colorado Avalanche. Colorado, you're a joke. How the hell did you let San Jose get a point against you? Joke. And it's not like, they're playing powerhouse teams or anything like that. No, actually, they kind of are. Looking at their schedule, there's only really 2 teams I'd argue that aren't considered above average. The Nashville Predators and Washington. San Jose, you fucking suck. You're awful waffles. That's all I gotta say about that. Speaking of awful, on a serious note, there was a tragedy in the hockey world this past weekend. And I'm not gonna, if you're at all squeamish, the video is out there. Don't watch it. Don't watch it. I've watched videos of similar injuries. I watched the Clint Malarchuk video when he got his throat slashed by a skate. Steve Bozek for St. Louis in, I want to say 89. I watched the video from 2008 where Olli Jokinen got tied up in the air. Ended up inadvertently slashing the throat of his teammate Richard Zednik. Ironically, that game also happened in Buffalo. Something about Buffalo. Eerie. Adam Johnson, formerly of the Pittsburgh Penguins, was born in Minnesota. He just turned 29 this past June. Fortunately, passed away Saturday. Terrible injury. I can barely even talk about it. Played for the Nottingham Panthers in the Elite Ice Hockey League in England. Sorry, I just wanted to make sure I got that right. They were playing against the Sheffield Steelers. Defenseman, Canadian-born defenseman, Matt Petgrave, I believe his name is, got tangled up with one of Adam's teammates. Leg came up. And I've never seen a player fall like this before. I'm not saying it was intentional, but it's definitely something you don't see. Got up. Got Adam right across the throat. Bleeding profusely. As you can imagine, it's escaped to the throat. It's escaped anywhere. But, yep. They had medical personnel on the ice immediately trying to save Adam. They They asked the fans and attendants to please leave the building. The game would be postponed or suspended. I'm not sure what the exact ruling was, but they suspended the game, tried to save Adam's life. Unfortunately, didn't happen. Adam Johnson was 29 years old. Now there's investigations going on. British police are investigating this to see, just to make sure it was not intentional. I want to say it wasn't, but I don't understand the way that Matt Petgrave fell, and I don't understand why his leg. Like, he almost roundhouse kicked him in the throat, it looked like. The way his skate came up and just kind of shot out like that. I've watched hockey my whole life. I don't think I've ever seen a player fall like that. I don't know if he just for a moment forgot that he had skates on and was trying to use like his foot as a kind of way to like get Adam away from him or something. I don't know. All I know is that hockey is a fast game. And I don't think this was intentional. I don't think, he went out there. Even if Adam Johnson and Matt Petgrave had history from prior to this game or earlier in the game, I sincerely doubt that Petgrave wanted to injure him, especially to the extent where he lost his life. That's just not something I think would happen. Hockey, even if you've never played the game like I have, if you've just watched it your whole life, like, you know how fast it is out there, especially in the NHL. That's one thing, kids coming into the NHL, and, they're like, what, or any player, even if you made it from straight from junior to the pro leagues, or if you went to the minor leagues for a couple years and developed down there, or you went to Europe and came to the NHL. Everybody says that's like the biggest adjustment is the speed of the NHL, the speed of the professional game. And I just don't think in that moment you can map out what's going to happen. I've read some of the comments online, people saying Matt Petgrave's a murderer and he should be charged with murder. Fuck that. I don't think he's a murderer. I don't think he did this. Unfortunately, maybe a manslaughter charge might come from this. I don't know. I'm not a legal expert. I don't know what the hell to think about this. This is something we don't see that often. But anybody watching this, I just ask that you don't be like some of the people online that have gone after Matt Petgrave. They've gone after his family. And, not like it matters. It shouldn't matter. But just to put this out there, Matt Petgrave is black. And he's gotten a lot of very racially charged tweets or X's. I don't know what the fuck you call it now. I know Twitter's now X. So I don't know if when you sent out a tweet before, when you post something on Twitter, it's called sending out a tweet. I don't know if this is sending out an X. I don't know what you call it, but he's received messages on that social media platform and all kinds of social media platforms. Just saying a lot of really nasty shit. A lot of nasty shit. A lot of it was very unnecessary. So, whether you think he intentionally meant to do this, and even if you think it's extreme enough that he actually intended to kill Adam Johnson, Send him hate messages, but don't go after his family, please. And don't say anything even remotely racist. Because I think from what I've learned about people in my adult life is sometimes in a situation like this that involves a person of color versus a white person, you get some really extreme attitudes and outlooks come from stuff like this. And I hate saying it, but I'm just going to say it. I think a lot of the people, a lot of the people that sent Matt Petgrave those disgusting and racist messages probably wouldn't have done that if he were white. As fucked up as that is to say, I actually believe that to be true. If it were two white hockey players that got tangled up like that, he might get hate messages. He might get, you're a piece of shit, things like that. But I don't think he would get nearly as many vitriolic messages as he did because of the color of his skin. And I've watched the video. I've watched it once. And I'm kind of a sick puppy. For those of you that don't know me, I kind of watch gruesome sports injury videos quite a bit. Just nothing else to do. Or if I'm feeling a little bad, I'm like, I watch this guy snap his leg in half and realize, life ain't that bad. Shit like that. Yeah, and I mentioned Richard Zednick and Clint Malarchuk earlier. I can watch those videos, no problem. And I don't know if it's just because I know they survived. And I believe both of them actually returned to the NHL after their throat injuries. I can't watch this. I was talking to one of my good buddies, Brendan, today. Flem, what up, Flemmy? Hope to have you on here soon. I've been on your show. Hopefully, once this blows up a bit, hopefully I can get you on. But anyways, like I was saying, I was talking to him about it, and we, shared our opinions on the situation. And it's difficult to watch. It's extremely difficult to watch. And I can't even watch it. And it's awful. And kind of, my girlfriend and I went grocery shopping yesterday on the way into town. She looked at me, she's like, "You okay?" And I gave her, "Yeah, I'm alright, just thinking about something." And then I told her what I was thinking about while we were on the way home. And she said, "Oh my God, that sounds awful." I said, "Yeah, it's really bad." And she knew, like, it had to be fucked up because like I said, I can watch people get hurt all the time. I can't watch this, though. So, if you, even the slightest little bit of blood or something, if you're squeamish, even just by like the tiniest little injury, don't watch this. But if you have watched it, or if you're brave enough to watch it, leave a comment down below. Keep it respectful, but leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about this video. Subscribe to my channel. I'll even provide a link for the email address if you guys have any topics that you want me to discuss. But for now, I just want to send condolences to Adam Johnson's family, his friends, his teammates, the people that were at the arena on Saturday when the incident happened, when the game took place. Very difficult to watch, I imagine. Gruesome. Awful. Probably going to be a lot of therapy going on in England. Sheffield, because that was hard. It's heavy. Anyways, folks, that's it for now. Yeah. Give me a like, give me a subscribe, give me some comments, let me know what you think. If there's any stories around hockey that you think we should discuss, let's discuss them. Because that's what I do. I'm K-Raj, and I talk puck. And I'll talk to you later.